Welcome, one and all. We are live. We are at Road America is where you can find us, and we are enjoying ourselves out here. There's some actual racing, believe it or not, going on out here at Road America, where the race season is about to get underway. There's been cars here training and testing and all that kind of good stuff, but nevertheless, as far as the big stuff goes, you got the SVRA Vintage Festival coming up May 20th through the 22nd. That's going to kick everything off, and then after that, you got all the other big major events that are going to take place here at Road America. Welcome inside the Victory Lane. I'm Bill Michaels. John Evert is sitting alongside the communications. What is it? Vice President of Communications?
Or? Don't I wish? Communications Director, though.
Communications, Vice President of everything that goes
janitor,
on the track.
Refrigerator repairman.
Everybody's got that.
We're all that. We love doing that. It's a big family up here.
So, first of all, good to see you. This is like Puxatawny Phil and Groundhog Day, man.
Oh, man, I tell you, it is. And it feels great because we got the door cracked open. There's Indy lights out there testing right now. Some of them are going by at full song, and it just feels so good that we've got some weather that's kind of made a turn. Just a little bit in the 60s today. The grass is greening up.
Yeah.
My phone was ringing off the hook. I was getting texts from all my friends and stuff. They're like, the season, it's coming.
Yeah, I was pulling in, and I saw that you guys had actually cut the grass, and it's all nice and neat. And it's kind of like the grass at Daytona when they first cut it, and you got all the patterns in it and everything. It was pretty cool.
It's just been so nice because, I mean, it hasn't been a crazy harsh winter up here, but it's been a winter, and there's been so many just cloudy days. We had some crazy rain even a couple days ago, and to get that 60 degrees and you're able to kind of go outside without a jacket on and see some green grass and the trees are starting to bud. And then you blink your eyes. You're like, wow, we're already in May.
Right.
We're going to be really rocking and rolling in a couple weeks here. And it's going to be a blast. We have a huge season. Everything's picking up. Everybody's super excited. And we're just ready to get going.
So let's start with obviously what you have going on this weekend, because people hear it behind us and they're like, well, what the hell's going on up there? Because officially, when you look at your schedule, May 20th through the 22nd is when things really kick off. So let's talk about what's going on here today.
WRL will be here this weekend. Today is a test for Indy Lights. And what's also interesting is that we just encourage everybody to go to roadamerica.com because our calendar is full. There's always something going on. It may be a bigger event. It may be a smaller event. It may be Porsche Club of America. It may be Badger Bimmers. It may be something like that. Also, there's other things to do off track, disc golf, go-karting, so all sorts of things. 4 miles of fitness is starting up actually Monday, Wednesday nights. People can come out here and walk, bike, or run the track, in a nice, safe, closed environment. So that's what's really cool too, is that yes, we have our big events, 9 events total. That we're really, really proud of, that we're definitely touting, but just go to roadamerica.com if you want to figure out what the heck's going on. We can even let people camp here on non-race weekends, which is also kind of fun. If you're sitting there going, hey, you know what? We love to camp. We got a camper. Right. We're looking for a place to stay. We've got a few weekends open, non-race weekends, where you can come out here with the family and camp. That's why it's called America's National Park of Speed.
Well, there you go. So which I never thought of, but actually it's its own campground.
It really is. And what's really neat for people is not only do they love to camp during events, but people can camp here during and off, non-event weekend, and you kind of almost have the whole place to yourself. So, I mean, you walk around the area, we've had people, come with their kids and their bikes and their scooters and stuff. And they're just like, we can't believe that we're here.
Right.
And there's maybe only a few other families or a handful of people here.
Now, they can't drive their car on the track, but you can be near it. You can see it, and everything else that goes along with it. You can't just jump out there because security will pull you over real quick.
There will be security for those weekends. But what's really cool about it is that, even during some of the event weekends, there's track walks. Plus you have 4 miles of fitness. So if you really want to walk the track, if you really want to step in the places where history has been made every day, it's going to be made this summer. 4 miles of fitness is a great way to do it. And that's Monday and Wednesday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. It's only $5. We have a lot of cycling clubs, bicycling clubs that actually come out here and do their own little smaller sprint events. Moms and dads looking to get back in shape, strollers, things like that. And it's great for families because, you're walking on the actual racing surface. So then if you think about coming back for Indycar for the Sanzio Grand Prix, you're like, hey, I actually kind of got to walk through turn 5 or walk through turn 12, or I climbed the front straight on my own with my own 2 legs and got to actually feel the incline or ride it on a bike. And then you see these cars going by at speed and you're just like, wow, that's pretty cool. So that's something fun too, but there's always something going on. We just encourage people to go to roadamerica.com and figure out what's happening, because there's lots of things offsite too. We got all kinds of different events happening around the area. Plymouth Dirt Track is going to have the Road America Challenge. That's going to be June 30th, right before the NASCAR race, which is cool because some NASCAR drivers are going to be competing in that. So we've partnered up with that with the Road America Challenge at the Plymouth Dirt Track. And we're going to be shuttling people who are camping here from gate 4 out to the track and then back. So
Wow.
that's a great way to kind of see something different too.
Yeah. That's really cool. I didn't realize all that was going on up here. So I encourage people, roadamerica.com.
Yeah.
Now we get it. First of all, today on the show, we got into this whole discussion about F1, and F1's got the documentary. They're doing the Netflix thing.
Yeah.
It's blowing up. They're going to be racing in Miami. They're going to be racing in Texas. Rumor has it next year they're going to be going to Las Vegas. So the discussion was, will it ever come to Road America? Highly doubtful. Never say never. Highly doubtful. They like the glitz and glam of South Beach and the strip of Las Vegas and such.
Highly doubtful. And here's the thing: is that you have your purists and you have your people who are really, really into it. It's just if you really love Road America, if you love the history, if you love the reverence of this place, which a lot of people do, if you love the trees, the National Park of Speed. Again, we plant one tree for every tree that we remove for all the improvements that we have, and we can talk about that later. But if you were to bring F1 here, and we have a lot of respect for F1, and we have a lot of F1 stewards come here and actually evaluate the facility, and FIA stewards as well, there would be so many infrastructure improvements that will be required, sanctioning fees. We know that there's enough hotels within the area. We're proud to be bringing a lot of money to Sheboygan County and to Wisconsin itself. But to have that here, the requirements that are necessary, garages, grandstands, VIP areas.
Which is funny because in Miami, they don't have garages, right?
No, they've actually constructed a lot of things separately, but sanctioning fees are another thing to think about. Those numbers are massive. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to have the fans have to incur that.
Right.
So what's great about Road America is that you can get a season pass right now for, I think, less than $600. And you can come to all of our events.
Right.
And that's right around 50 plus days of action, right about $10 a day. I'm horrible at math. That's why I'm in communications,
I get it.
but it's extremely affordable. For an F1 race to have a probably really good time in Miami or Vegas or even Texas, you're spending 2-3 times what full season pass would be here.
Just for a ticket to see that.
Just for a ticket. Yeah. And that doesn't include hotel and airfare and everything else.
Yeah.
So to get that whole experience, and it's exciting, the growth that we're seeing in the U.S. It's exciting what they're doing, but we just don't want to see the beauty of this place squandered. We've done a lot to improve this place. People love coming to this place. It's hard to do an interview with the driver and get him to not say anything, bad about this place. They can't. They love the track. They love the old school feel. They love the way that drives. We got so lucky by the way that our founders designed this place because they kind of did it a little bit backwards. You park inside the facility as opposed to like parking outside of a facility and walking in. Here you drive in and you can move around the facility and watch from any location. If F1 were to come here and you expand certain parts of the sand traps and build better walls and build garages and build VIP towers and all of this kind of stuff, people wouldn't be able to have that movement.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to pick their favorite spots and move from spot to spot. It would be a lot more compartmentalized, and we just don't want to see that. I mean, it was so great to hear from NASCAR fans last year that were coming in here in droves for race day. I met a family from Texas that drove all night long, 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
And didn't even have a hotel room. They came for the race.
Yeah.
And then they were going to see how far south they could get before they could get a hotel heading home. And they didn't know where to go. They've never been to Road America before. They just wanted to come see the NASCAR race here. So I drove them over to turn 5 on my golf cart. And they said, okay, is this our spot? I said, everywhere is your spot. I said, I think this is probably the spot you're going to like best. And they pitched their umbrella and set out their cooler, and they were happy as clams. But it's that kind of experience that people love, and we don't want that. We don't want any of that taken away, to bring F1 here. If people want to see F1 cars, we encourage them to come to Spring Vintage Weekend, Spring Vintage Festival Weekend, SVRA. There's F1 cars from the 90s. Also with the WeatherTech International Challenge and even via CDA, you're going to see some incredibly classic cars. The WeatherTech International Challenge in July is going to have the largest contingent of all-American Eagle racers. Granted, it's not Formula One, but these are some absolutely incredible cars. The Mystique and the pageantry and everything that Formula One's doing. The television is phenomenal. The things that Formula One does for the economies in Miami and Texas and what it's going to create in Vegas is going to be great. But we're gonna leave Road America as it is for a while.
Yeah.
For a while.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that have
Sure,
changed, though, because
sure.
you guys started doing a lot of different things almost immediately when the race season ended, and then obviously it really ramped up now. So I'm hearing we got new bridges and such throughout the area.
It is so cool. We are so proud because our team has just done a phenomenal job in the off season. We have a capital improvement plan that goes along year on year on year. We've had some very, very positive years, last year being one of our best years ever. So we're always reinvesting funds back into the facility. So we completely redesigned the Johnsonville Bridge, which goes over the track towards the carousel. It's more perpendicular to the racing surface. It's more level as far as ingress and egress going over the bridge. So if you have an RV or a camper and you're going into the carousel, or if you have a trailer or a motorhome and you're going there for a karting event at the Briggs and Stratton Motorplex, you're not kind of like going up a long rise or that big hump. There's no top to it now, so you don't have to worry about the top of your camper being ripped off or your hauler. Right. And there's pedestrian walkways on either side that are protected. It's a little wider as well so that you can have 2 lanes of traffic. It will be lighted. And we're excited too because we're going to put a new fascia on it too with Johnsonville. They're coming back as far as the Speedville Bridge. So it still will be the Speedville Bridge. It was a massive undertaking to make those improvements. We also improved some of the safety barriers in the carousel, banded tire barriers going around that way, a lot more poured concrete walls going through turn 10, turn 11, which is commonly known as the kink, all the way headed down towards turn 12. Those are things that fans might see, might not see. We also added a new restroom on Fireman's Hill. So now you're pretty much some of your favorite concession stands around the facility. You're close to a clean new restroom. And that's something that a lot of facilities, especially a facility of this age, don't really have. And that's what we do have. And that's what fans love to be able to do is go get a brat and a burger, find their favorite viewing spot under a tree, put their feet in some green grass. And then if they have to use the restroom, they're not having to look for something or a hot, steamy, outhouse or anything like that. Nice, clean restrooms. And we're proud of that. We've added some new kind of terrace seating up above 13. We have new wood carvings around some of the trees that are around the area, which is kind of cool because we've had to remove a lot of the ash trees due to emerald ash borer, some dead trees that have obviously been old, but we're planting a tree for every tree that we remove. And we found that some of these older trees that have larger stumps, we brought in some artists to actually do, carvings to still beautify the place. And those are going to be featured coming up pretty soon. Lots of new paved areas going down from the top of 7 and 8 back down towards the motorplex so dust doesn't be kicked up for people's campsites. Lots of improvements, and we encourage everybody to sort of come here and sort of see that because we've been doing something every year. The Johnsonville Bridge was a big one for this year. The new restroom at Fireman's Hill, and also the improvements around the track itself were a big deal. We're very, very proud of that. And then we managed to definitely do as well as we did in 2020 and 2021 to where we're going to repave the entire facility in October of 22, October of this year. So that's really cool.
And when you say repave it, you're talking about the roadways around it? Not the track.
The track surface.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big undertaking. It's a massive undertaking. We're going to go.
Because that's got to be perfect.
Yep. It's going to be an absolutely perfect racing service. We have a committee of people working on that. We want to let everybody know that we're not changing the configuration of the track. It's going to remain the same. It's going to be exactly as people remember it, but it will be the best racing surface.
Not going to get wider in the turns or anything.
Not going to get wider in the turns.
Oh, man.
Granted, guys love to kind of get out there a little bit on the rumble strips and stuff.
Right.
Nope, it's not going to change. And it's going to be a pretty extensive project, but we're really proud of that. A lot of people go, wow, is this the first time you've ever done it? No, we actually did one in the 90s. And we've done some paving projects in certain turns over the course of the years. This is going to be a full course repave in October. So that's the other big jump that we're going to make. And a lot of, SCCA club members, a lot of others, a lot of enthusiasts that come here for track days or pace car hot laps or anything like that. They'll be like, oh, no, are you changing anything? No, we're not changing anything. The configuration is going to stay the same.
Wow.
We're just giving it a brand new, clean, smooth surface.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that the track's doing that well. And obviously, the big races are IndyCar. The other big race is NASCAR. The Xfinity Series coming to town. Indy Lights will be here with the IndyCar Series. So let's first of all talk about NASCAR, because I know NASCAR is a hot ticket. It's what everybody talks about wherever I go when I talk Road America. So let's start with, is there camping available, or is it gone, or what's going on with NASCAR tickets?
I tell you what, if I'm a gambling man, I'd get on the phone tomorrow.
Yeah.
I really would. And that's because it is very, very popular. We were selected as the best NASCAR track in USA Today by USA Today readers last year. I don't know if they're doing that again this year, but that's proof positive of how popular that race was. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said it best. When you had a race on the 4th of July, everybody's wearing, Americana apparel. They're barbecuing, they're camping out, they're grilling out, and there's cars on track. He said it felt like the 4th of July. Race is going to be on July 3rd this year, the Quick Trip 250, presented by Jockey Made in America, 2 incredible Wisconsin brands coming back, partnering up.
And those, by the way, flip-flop for people that need to know. So Quick Trip is now the title sponsor.
Quick Trip's the title.
Comes in on the subheading, but that's okay. They're both great.
I'm pumped about them because, I'm a fan of Jockey apparel. They're doing great things. We encourage everybody to go to jockey.com to figure out what's new and what's coming out. A Quick Trip, you can't beat that. If you want to stop, if you want to stop on the way to the track and get everything you need, beer, firewood,
charcoal,
a cooler, glazers, you name it. I mean, Quick Trip's got it. And it was funny because I was in a meeting with them, and I told them, because I love to camp and have a bonfire and this, and I said, you guys have great wood. And I'm like, whoa, that didn't come out right.
It's like a bad line on a Friday night at a bar.
I said, I'm sorry, I haven't had anything to drink, but you guys have really, really good wood. And they're like, we might use that. But no, it's cool. We're pumped that they're coming back because it's July 3rd for the race. Camping is close to gone. Get on the phone while you can. Get your tickets now. Like, even if you're thinking about coming with friends, definitely get your tickets now and just make sure that you can kind of plan ahead. Again, we're going to have parking on site for Sunday, but we encourage people to get their parking early because that will probably sell out again as well. Don't be discouraged. There's off-site parking for free, and there will be shuttles from the Sheboygan County Fairgrounds. That's also part of the relationship that we have with them. And another reason why the Plymouth Dirt Track race, the Road America Challenge, and the Plymouth Dirt Track is going to be so cool. I know Chase Briscoe's on the ticket there. I've heard Kyle Larson might be stepping in, maybe Alex Bowman.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool to see some of these guys doing some open wheel outlaw sprint stuff.
Sure. Thursday,
and then racing Saturday and Sunday. Some of them do the triple, the Xfinity and NASCAR. Josh Balicki, local favorite, is going to be doing the double, Xfinity and NASCAR. So that's kind of cool as well. But definitely, we encourage everybody to get your tickets. It's just because it's better safe than sorry, and it's a good problem to have. And the weather was so great last year, and everybody was having so much fun. That, we're looking at that eclipsing last year. It was just so cool to see not only local people from Wisconsin having a blast, because Wisconsin has a huge racing community, as we well know, but people coming from Texas, Florida, Arizona.
Yeah.
And it's their first time here, and you can sort of spot them because they're the ones wandering around trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah.
They're probably a little shy.
They're holding the map.
They're holding the map. They don't want to ask the locals, So I had fun. I was riding around. And I was kind of like, hey, you guys new? They're like, yeah, hop on, And anytime I had a free chance to sort of help somebody out, I did. And that was great too. And that's what's really neat is that once we get rolling into the summer, I mean, sure, Vintage is our bookends with SVRA and via CDA with the Aaron's Art on Wheels Challenge. Via CDA weekend in September. But you also have Moto America Superbikes. You also have NTT IndyCar Series, the Sanzio Grand Prix presented by AMR. Again, 2 incredible brands coming back here. June Sprints coming up after that, WeatherTech, Chicago Region SCCA June Sprints. And they kind of flip-flopped, so it's a little bit later, the June Sprints, as opposed to that. And then NASCAR. And then that's June. I'm telling you, man, June is packed.
Yeah.
So that's what we're really excited about. And that's what everybody can come on with every single weekend. Come to them all.
Yeah.
Skip one, come to another one. Get your camping early so you can figure out what you want to do with your family and friends. Plan your family reunions. And that's exciting for us. We'll be able to take a breather a little bit. And then we go into the WeatherTech International Challenge with Brian Redmond in July. Super cool because the last I checked, I think we're over 27 Dan Gurney All-American Racer Eagle cars will be here.
Wow.
I know for a fact it will be the largest contingent of those cars in North America. I have even heard that some very, very rare cars that have been restored that are under wraps, not really lock and key, I want to say, on display in various places are going to be shipped here. So this is kind of a first of its kind, one time, come one, come all deal to see these incredible cars that made so much history over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all going to be in one place. And that's going to be in the middle of July. Again, the concourse
Right.
going downtown on Friday night for the race car concourse, sports car concourse on Saturday night. Such a cool weekend. Such a great weekend for everybody to kind of step back in time,
Yeah.
take a breather, spend time with family and friends.
Yeah,
So
I've heard downtown Elkhart Lake's really
yeah.
cool that weekend.
It's just absolutely fabulous. You really feel like you're part of something
Yeah.
special. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite events of the year. And then we take a little bit of a respite as well. I'll get some time, and then we go into the IMSA Sports Car Weekend. The first part of August 4th through the 7th. Super cool again. You got the Michelin Pilot Challenge on Saturday, and then you've got the IMSA WeatherTech Championship on Sunday. Two great endurance races. The Michelin Pilot Challenge is going to be 4 hours this year. So again, we encourage everybody to get their campsites early, get your tickets early, because if you love sports cars, every type in the book, their entry lists are huge this year. The manufacturing list is awesome with as far as manufacturers participating in that series, and it's a great kind of last kickoff weekend before the kids go back to school and before everybody kind of gets going again. Not to discount anything else coming up. World Challenge, the 19th through the 21st of August, and then the Aaron's Art on Wheels Vintage Weekend, September 16th through the 18th. You get to see the leaves changing on the trees. You get to see, everything happening. Lots of incredible vintage cars on track. Again, those are our big events. But go to roadamerica.com. Check out however many small events are going on. You got off-road adventures, go-karting, disc golf, 4 miles of fitness, pace car hot laps. I didn't really touch on Moto America weekend, which comes right after SVRA Vintage Festival weekend. Huge super bikes going to be on track. Baggers will be here.
I heard that.
Mini Moto will be here. So if you're a Harley fan, if you're into guys getting it sideways in a turn with a bagger, that's something to check out. Vintage Moto Fest on Saturday, where you're going to have incredible vintage bikes. This is a ride-in bike show. These guys ride these bikes in, put them on display for everybody to see. You have different types of awards that are going to be handed out for these bikes. So if you're a two-wheeler enthusiast, and I'm seeing people riding, I already saw people riding today. Yep. Everybody's kind of getting the hog out and dusting it off. And
it looks like Saturday and Sunday. And then next week,
you're going to start hearing the pipes going, everybody hitting it through the turns. And that's when summer's here or summer's coming. And that's kind of always a nice transition. And I always love that too. So, once people sort of start calling the dealership and getting their bikes out of storage, or
I just did a couple weeks ago, just got it home.
Pulling the dust cover off or whatnot. That's just something to think about. Hey, we need to probably get our tickets for the Moto America weekend as well and come up here. I always love that weekend because you have motorcycle parking, gear checks, and it's cool to see guys ride in on something, and they've got a sleeping bag roll right behind them and a tent.
Yeah.
And man, that's just that harkens back to like good old days and good times. And especially if the weather's nice, you just can't beat that. And it's a casual feel here at every event with everything we do. Campers get to stay until noon the next day, so you're not tasked with July 3rd.
You're not jamming out of here.
You don't have to jam out of here. You don't have to be worrying about anything. Sleep in, talk to your friends, do whatever you want to do, and then wait it out and get up the next day and pack everything up. And plus, that's the 4th of July, so you can head home and probably see some fireworks in your hometown, or grill and hang out with your family, or head to the next campground for the 4th. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know, but it's going to be a big summer, man.
Yeah. It's like take a breath. Holy mackerel, it's going to be huge. I did want to touch on IndyCar because that's going to be really you got a lot of big stuff coming, but that's the big one that really gets going mid-June, 9th through the 12th here. And IndyCar, as much as F1 is the docuseries and we're paying attention to, IndyCar has had this growth, has had this emergence. Again, this year you're going to have Mike Tirico, Danica Patrick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., all in the tower, calling the Indy 500. we know the Indy cars are going to be racing, but the fact is that when you look at these cars and the way the series has kind of come back together after the split from years ago, Indy cars becoming popular again.
It's cool because you have so many cool young guns racing.
And old team owners that you'd recognize the name.
Are passionate.
Yeah.
You recognize the name. Ray Hall, Penske, Andretti.
Yeah.
Owning teams. And then you got these guys like Pato O'Ward. You got these guys like Scott McLaughlin. Joseph Newgarden's been around for a few seasons. You got your stalwarts, Iceman, Scott Dixon, things like that. So it's a battle. Yeah. I mean, there's been some incredible races, and you have the 500 coming up. So how cool is that to be probably, I love going down to the 500. I'll drive down to the 500. See the 500, whether you're watching it on TV with your family and friends over the weekend, and then plan your event coming up here to Road America. And it's always so cool to hear, not only from the media, the Milwaukee media, but also the IndyCar media, but the drivers, about how they all look forward to coming to this race. It's so fun when you're kind of chumming around on the grid with Leo or, a lot of these other drivers, Joseph Newgarden or even Will Power.
Right.
They talk about wanting to come up here, and they bring their campers and their motorhomes up early, and they stay with their families in the driver lot. And Road America is one of those few places where they turn it into a family vacation. And Road America is one of the few places too where, Thursday night, Friday night, after things get done on the track, you're out in the campground, you're grilling up some brats and hanging out.
And a driver comes by.
And a driver just cruises behind.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how you doing? It was a couple of years ago. We always do a most awesome campsite contest for every event, and it was during the IndyCar event where we had the most awesome campsite contest going on, and there was a campsite that built the Will Power Bar. That's just what they called it, and they had all of those big blow up heads like you see at like college basketball games. But they had all the IndyCar drivers, and they had Will Power's head really huge, and Joseph Newgarden's head really huge, and Leo and everything. And so Will Power drives up on a scooter, on one of those Penske scooters, and just goes, "Hey, I'm Will Power. How you guys doing?" They're like, "Yeah, we know. Hey, you want a drink?" So there were pictures of Will Power having a drink at the Will Power Bar, and he's like sitting next to his huge head.
Yeah, I've always told people, I said one of the coolest nights was the Thursday night. We brought the RV when I parked it behind the media center, and I had brought my bike, and I got to pedal around.
Yeah.
And it's quiet until you get down around the carousel, and it gets a little rowdy and wild. But you're out on the track, you're pedaling around, and you kind of know some of the security people. They're like, head up this way.
Sure.
But it was just so cool to be able to just pedal around, and then you'll see the drivers, you'll see the team. Those guys are just out, beers, brats, cheese, whatever. They're bringing over steaks, and hey, we got this. Do you want to trade this? We had some of the guys from that were down in Indy that had Yingling.
Yeah.
You can't get it up here.
Right.
But they had it on so they're trading beers, for some of the spotted cow, and they're trading it for Yingling and stuff, which was really cool. So you do see that up here.
Absolutely. And you can't really find any other place where fans are that close to the drivers and the drivers are that close to the fans, and it's that casual camaraderie that occurs. And here's a kid, and he gets Will Power's autograph or Joseph Newgarden's autograph while these guys are riding bicycles around the night before. And that driver makes a connection, and that kid loves that, and then has a connection with that driver and roots for that driver. And you just don't see that at other facilities where somebody has to hang on a fence, or they have a VIP pass, or, they're not allowed here or anything like that. And Road America is not like that. And we're very proud of that.
Yeah.
We're very proud that the drivers appreciate that too. And the drivers want to be a part of that, and they feel safe and they feel confident, and they look forward to coming here. And it's not, like, oh, well, we're separated here and we're not allowed to go over there.
Right.
And that's really what racing's always sort of been about here at Road America. So it's cool to see IndyCar especially embracing that.
Yeah.
You have these new upcoming drivers. You have these guys that have been around for many, many seasons. You have a lot of champions, new champions too. But at the same time, every time Road America rolls around on the calendar, it kind of flips a little bit, and they go, "Oh man, Road America is next." I'm looking forward to it. I want to do good. I hope I want to win. This is something that they want to notch on their belt and go, "I won at one of the toughest tracks in North America." At the same time, got some points, probably going for the championship. But at the same time, they're also like, "I love smelling the fresh air. People cooking.
Yeah.
The fans are great. They're handing you stuff and your autographs, and they're just the most kind, respectful people.
Yeah.
I had a driver actually tell us, we were in a press conference up in the press room, morning practice for IndyCar. They're going around. He was doing pretty good. And the crew chief kind of said, "Hey, I want you to, we got to get a little bit better time and here and here." And there's different spots of the track. They're actually in sections on some of the teams, and they know how to do different adjustments on the car. Like, hey, you got to shave a, millisecond here or half second there or whatever you got to do. And so he's wants to get a better position, in practice, and then also, get ready for qualifying. But he was smelling bacon. Yeah, he's like, I was just smelling all of these people making breakfast as I'm going through the carousel, and it smelled so good, and I just wanted to pull over, and I couldn't focus. And they're like, well, that's not the best place to be smelling that, man. You're getting ready to go through the kink. And he's like, I know, man, but I was just so hungry.
By the way, speaking of that, just for those that do come up and people that don't realize, there are breakfast places around here too, inside the track you can go to.
That's
breakfast sandwiches and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool.
Grab yourself an egger from the Gearbox. Grab yourself some biscuits and gravy from Parker John's. I tell you what, I put on probably 10 or 15 pounds every year.
Yeah.
And I don't have a cardiologist yet. Thankfully, my ticker is still doing pretty good. My numbers were all down in my last physical, but the food at Road America is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
The drivers love the food. I love the food, and you're not far from really good food. Granted, a lot of people love the tailgating aspect. They love stopping at Quick Trip and getting all the necessary things. But if you're ever, hey man, I don't feel like cooking, or hey, it's early and let's get a real nice piping hot cup of coffee and some breakfast, there's lots of places to do that here. And we're very fortunate with our concessions partners as well, because you have the Elkhart Lake Lions. You have a lot of fundraising opportunities with various associations here, as well as some fixtures of local restaurants that are in the area that are here every summer. So it makes it great.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many different options, from tacos to barbecue to mac and cheese. Oh man, I love the mac and cheese, roasted chicken, egger sandwiches. I could go on and on and on.
Right.
And you can move around the facility and try different things all day long, the roasted corn, whatnot. We always kind of like roll the dice up in the press room because everybody's so busy. It's like, who's going to make a run to get a double brat?
And that's the thing, is that if you go to the corn, when people always say, well, I'm going to go there later, it's like, once it's gone, it's gone every day. That's it. There's only a limit.
86,
it's gone,
man, So it's like, get there early too. And it's just so much fun. Fresh ice cream and ice cream sandwiches and you name it. I mean, it's better than fair food because you've got great action going on track. Everybody's having a great time. Everybody's wearing like their favorite team apparel or Road America stuff and running around. Kids are running around, and you got people with ice cream, cold beers, mac and cheese. It was funny because I stopped at a concession stand. The key thing that we always try to do after the race starts, we go down to the concession stands because they're usually cleared out by then because people are watching the race. So then we don't have to wait in line. Plus we got to get back to work. So I'll grab some mac and cheese and head back up, and I was heading back up to the tower, up to the media center. And I had a race official, and he came up to me. He's like, where did you get that? And I pointed to where I got it, and he's walking along with me. And I literally thought he was going to try to take a bite of my mac and cheese. He was like really eyeing it.
Focused.
Like, focused, like about ready to grab the fork that I had sticking out of it. And I'm trying to like make a turn and like go back to work. But he was really dialed in on that. And these are things that folks from out of state don't see all the time. They don't, they're probably hamburger and a hot dog. That's really all.
And even the hamburgers are here fantastic, and they're huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So it really lights people up to know that those things are here, and we encourage people when they're here to try everything. Try a lot of it, because I have a blast every single year looking at what the menus are, riding around and seeing what vendors are here and what concessionaires are here. And it's an experience in itself. You can spend a whole day. We had a gentleman up here, Dan Higgins, with USA Today and Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and he went around. He's a food writer for those publications, and he went around and was trying all these different things. And he came to me like halfway through the day. He's like, I'm full. I said, well, you're only halfway. He's like, yeah, man, I know, but I'm sure everything else is good. I just can't. He's like, it was so good. He didn't want to stop eating some of the things that he only was supposed to taste. He actually was finishing things that he was only supposed to taste. And I said, well, come back and try the other half next time. So we'll probably be here this year.
That'd be great. Best story coming out of last year. Last year, it finally opened up. You had fans in the stands, fans on the track, fans everywhere. Best story coming out of last year before we get out of here.
Too many to count. NASCAR, bar none. And I'll put it to you this way. It's a special experience when you see everybody have such a wonderful time. I was looking down the hill into turn 5,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a sea of people. A sea of people. It looked like Woodstock, the
Right.
old album cover.
Yeah.
And everybody was having a great time. There wasn't anybody getting out of line. There wasn't anything crazy. There was just people glued, transfixed onto
Right.
the racetrack. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is the biggest crowd I've ever seen.
Right.
At the end of the day, 90 minutes after the race was over, 90 minutes after Chase Elliott did all the burnouts, he did a 2 or 3 burnouts, came here to victory lane. He was late for TV. It was awesome. He blew the tires off the car. Everybody was gone. 90 minutes.
Right.
Everybody was gone. By the time we got Chase Elliott up to the media center for the post-race interviews and stuff, this place was cleared out. And the fans left it cleaner than what it was in the morning.
Really?
We talked to our maintenance guys. I looked around a lot. There wasn't any more traffic on the roads, and the place was impeccable. So that's a testament to our fans,
Yeah.
to this facility, to how much people love it and want to leave it better than how they found it.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
was
He blew
probably
the tires
coolest.
on. I'm like, how's he going to get back?
Yeah. He actually the car was so low on the rims that he couldn't move coming up the front straight. So they had to bring tires and a jack out there and put new rear tires on just
Right.
to get him into victory lane. And, the NBC crew is standing there and they're like, hey, we only got so much more time
Right.
to broadcast. And they were waiting to do the interview and everything. But it all worked out,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's cool to see somebody come from, way in the back, almost totally in the back, and win the race. It's proof positive of what kind of talent it takes to
Yeah.
race here. It was cool to see Bill race here during Xfinity a couple years prior, and then to see Chase come and win. So who's giving tips to who?
Right.
And it's who knows this year. There's so much young talent
Yeah.
and very, very cool things going on that we just encourage everybody to get their tickets, get them early, plan ahead. And, if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't make it, maybe, somebody else can use those tickets.
Right.
But especially with camping, get it while you can. Check out roadamerica.com and think summer. I used to tell people think spring. Start thinking summer, man, because
Yeah.
that weather's going to turn and people are going to be looking for things to do, fun stuff with the family. And this is really the place to be.
I tell you what, if you want to go to roadamerica.com, you can get everything you need right there. Again, roadamerica.com, you can see the schedules, you can see the track. There's all kinds of things about it. You can always Google Road America and find out everything there is to know about the track, but it's good. It's kind of like I said, it's like Puxatawny Phil. I know spring's right around the corner and summer's about to upon us when I'm up here doing stuff. So it's
we're
good.
Just so lucky.
Yeah.
We're so lucky to be able to be here every day, all summer long. And
I've always said this is like a national park. They call it the national park of speed, but just like one of those big state parks with a racetrack thrown in the middle of it.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
fantastic.
And it's see the sunrises and the sunsets, to see history being made every single day when you're here for a race event, and to understand that we've been around 67 years.
Yeah.
And we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's going to be a blast.
Can't wait. So thanks for everybody listening out there and hanging out with us today. We certainly appreciate it. As always, you can find this over on Facebook. You can find it on YouTube. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's also going to be on the roadamerica.com website coming up a little bit later on. It'll be on Twitch TV. It's also going to be on Twitter television as well. So thanks to everybody for paying attention to us. John, great to talk to you, man.
Always a blast. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. There you go. Thanks, everybody, for paying attention.